Hello and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. Hope you're all doing very, very well on this Friday. I am doing very well because next week I'm going on holiday and I'm so excited to go on holiday. I've been looking forward to this for such a long time. Myself, David, my cousin Laura, her family, her friends, and a host of dogs, two dogs. We're all going on holiday to the Lake District next week, and I am so excited to relax, read, eat, walk, play some games, just have a wonderful chilled out time, and I cannot wait for it. I'm so looking forward to it. And I thought I would not only share with you my TBR for that week, but I've got 7 books here, 2, 4, 6, 7. I've got 7 books and I only want to take 5 really. So I'm going to talk through the 7 that I've selected and then work out which ones I'm going to end up taking. Now there are a few that I definitely am taking and definitely will be taking. I've said that twice. I'll start with one of those. The first one, although not a reading book, it is a puzzle book, which I've already mentioned. Hi. This is a puzzle book I hauled earlier this year. This is an Ordnance survey puzzle book. Now when I was younger, you'll all know how much I'm into a puzzle. I've only recently mentioned logic puzzles. They were mentioned in my June favourites. When I was younger, geography lessons, we used to do a lot of Ordnance survey map puzzles. I saw this and I was like, I must buy that for my holiday. So I bought that for the holiday, and I've looked at the first one, but I haven't done any more than that because I'm going to save it all for my holiday, and I'm just going to get cosy and just maybe pop an audiobook on or a podcast and just get into this, or maybe some classical music, guys. So that's the first one that's definitely coming along. So that doesn't count in the 5 because that's not a reading book. Another one that is definitely coming along is because David and I are going to be listening to the audiobook of this as we go up. I've forgotten the bloody name of it already. We're going to be listening to the audiobook of this, and that is a book called it's called Mortimer and Whitehouse Gone Fishing. Now Bob Mortimer and Paul Whitehouse are they are comedians, British comedians. Bob Mortimer is from one of my favourite, very odd shows called Shooting Stars. It's like a panel show. If you're in the UK and you were born like in the 80s or 90s, you will definitely know. I think it had a sort of resurgence actually, and it's sort of come back for a while. But him and Paul Whitehouse have got a programme, it's a very male programme, it doesn't tick all my boxes at all, where they go fishing and they talk about things and they visit like local places where they're fishing and things like that. David loves watching this programme, and David is not a big fan of audiobooks, but when I said this was an audiobook, and it's only 6 hours and 5 minutes long, he said, oh yeah, let's do that. And although it is about fishing, it's also about friendship and life and death and them chatting. And I feel like I listened to the Adam Buxton podcast where Paul Whitehouse and Bob Mortimer were on this, and they were talking about how they've been told it's an unusual audiobook because it's not the same as the actual book. Quite a lot of it is just them chatting. So although they stick to the same sort of topics that are in the book, it's more a sort of based on the book audiobook, which is unusual, and also I'm quite looking forward to it. So yeah, looking forward to listening to sort of relaxing audiobook about friendship and just fishing and relaxing and things like that. So that is something else that will definitely be happening. Now, the next 7 books, I've got to pick from these 7 books, 5 that are going to come. But I'm gonna start with one that's definitely coming because I bought it specifically for this trip, and that is Swallows and Amazons by Arthur Ransome. This is a classic which I've never read, a children's classic. I believe it's the first in a whole series of Swallows and Amazons book. Am I right? Do people know that? And this is set at a lake that is near to us. Laura told me the name of the lake, I can't remember. Does it say in here? I don't even think it does, because I think it's based on, they fictionalised it. But yeah, so this is a children's book, and they've got, it sounds a bit sort of like Famous Five-ish or Secret Seven, which are books that I really enjoyed as a child. And it's the Walker children, who are also known as Captain John, Mate Susan, Able Seaman Titty. Titty's never gonna not be funny to me. And ship boys Roger set sail on the Swallow and head for Wildcat Island. There they camp under open sky, swim in clear water and go fishing for their dinner. But their days are disturbed by the Blackett sisters, the fierce Amazon pirates. The Swallows and Amazons decide to wage war, and so begins a summer of unforgettable discoveries and incredible adventures. So yeah, Laura is also taking this book away with her, so we will probably be reading it at the same time, which is super cute. But yeah, we're gonna actually visit the lake where this is based, so I'll probably start reading it either that day or the day before. before or something like that. So that one is definitely coming. That's decided. The next 6, I've got to pick 4 from them, so let's talk them through. So the first one is Disobedience by Naomi Ordnance. This is a book about a couple, Ronit and I can't remember her name, Esty, and they are a lesbian couple who had a relationship when they were younger. They are no longer together, and Ronit's father dies, and Esty returns to the where they live in London, which is Hendon, which is an Orthodox Jew suburb. And they sort of reignite their passion and relationship, even though a lot has happened between them and there's a lot of history between them now. This is also a film which has got Rachel Weisz and Rachel McAdams in it, double Rachel, and that's a film that I've wanted to watch for a long time, and this is a book that I've owned for a long time. When I saw the trailer for the book, for the film, I was like, oh, that looks really good, and then saw that it was adapted from a book. I was like, oh, David, buy that for me. And I think he bought it for me for like Easter about 3 or 4 years ago. So yes, I am looking forward to potentially get into that. So that one goes there. The next one is Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. Dolly Alderton is one of my favourite podcasters. She is on 2 of my favourite podcasts. She's on The High Low with her fellow journalist friend Pandora Sykes, and they talk about sort of topical things that are happening at the moment, and also women's issues, and also a lot of recommendations. I get a hell of a lot of recommendations from that podcast. And then there's another podcast called Love Stories with Dolly Alderton, where she interviews celebrities about loves of their life, whether it be romantic love, like passionate love, or unrequited love. And yeah, I love that podcast too. And this is a book she's written about love, so this is also something that I've been meaning to get to for a really long time. I feel like it's quite a popular book, and yeah, I can't actually believe I haven't read it, which is like a bit mad. So that's that one. The next one is non-fiction. Actually, I've got a hell of a lot of non-fiction. I only got 1 fiction and 1 short stories collection for the whole thing. The rest is non-fiction. The next one is Gentleman Jack, which is a biography of Anne Lister. This is currently been adapted, well, Anne Lister's life has been adapted for a BBC drama, which is happening on a Sunday. I haven't watched any of that, but I'm hoping it's going to be on the iPlayer for a little bit longer, so I can crack on with that when I get a chance. But this is all about Anne Lister, who is a Yorkshire heiress. It says here, she was an intrepid world traveller and a proud lesbian during a time when it was difficult simply to be female. She chose to remain unmarried, dressed all in black, and spoke openly of her lack of interest in men. The first woman to climb Vidnimel in the treacherous Pyrenees, she journeyed as far as Azerbaijan and slept with a pistol under her pillow. As daring as Juan and as passionate as Heathcliff, Anne could not be constrained by the mores of Regency society. And this is a biography of her life. And I believe it's told... The chapters and the sections of it are told from different women that she's encountered within her life. So like this, I mean, this has just got everything going for me, isn't it? It's a book about women told from the perspective, or told with regards to other women who have been in her life. Just sounds like it's gonna be woman-tastic. So that's another possibility. The next one is a library book. This is Happy Fat by Sophie Hagen. It says, taking up space in a world that wants to shrink you. I love this image of Sophie. Look, she's got a little smiley face drawn on her tummy and the mouse where her belly button is. Oh, I just love that. That's enough to make me read it. Anyway, I don't really know much of Sophie Hagen, and when I put this on Instagram, a few people said to me, oh, I love Sophie, and I've since started following her on Instagram. But yeah, I was really taken in by this cover in the library. So yeah, this is she's a comedian, Sophie Hagen, I should have mentioned, and this is talking about her life as a fat person and what it's like to be fat in modern society, which is what I am. So I feel like I'm going to relate to this a lot, and yeah, I've just opened it now and I just saw something that says, we need a fat Disney princess. Hell do we? Yes, we do. And then the next one is one that I have recently bought because some lovely booktuber recommended it to me. So, Aoife from Fred Weasley Died Laughing recently made a video where she talked about books that she would recommend, or books that she feels like, yeah, I think it's books that she would recommend booktubers. And she took my love of books set in Ireland and my love of books related to females and recommended me Orange Horses by Maeve Kelly, which is a selection of short stories written and set in Ireland, published by an Irish press called Tramp Press. So I managed to get a copy of this online secondhand, and yeah, I'm very excited. In fact, like the press itself sounds amazing. It says here, independent publisher Tramp Press is committed to rescuing and recovering forgotten literature and to re-engaging with those writers whose work is still valuable, relevant and brilliant. Orange Horses, a collection of short stories first published in the 70s, is the third in Tramp's Recovered Voices series. So yeah, these were short stories from the 70s. And Maeve Kelly is an Irish novelist, short story writer and poet, and she's born in County Clare in Ennis and educated in Dundalk. So yeah, I don't really know what to expect from this. I believe in Aoife, and I just bought it and thought maybe I'll take that along with my holiday. So I feel like this would be I feel like I'm really tempted to take this on holiday, because what I've said to myself what I'm going to do when I'm on holiday, because David and I are both very, very guilty of the last thing we look at before we go to bed is our phones. We're literally on our phones, like, I mean, here's my phone right now, until the last minute, and then I'm like, right, okay, night then, night, mwah, mwah, night, night, night. Look at my phone one last bit and put it down. So I feel like this holiday I'm going to take the opportunity, I can put that book down now, I can take the opportunity to, although I'll have to still set an alarm and stuff, I haven't got to be up for work or anything, to put my phone off or put it on the other side of the road, the other side of the room, and read a short story before I go to bed, which I think would be quite a nice way to sort of like wind down after a day. I don't know what I don't know if these short stories are going to be wind down a ball, but that's how I feel about a short story collection on holiday. And then the last book I've got to pick is a proof copy of Skint Estate by Cash Carraway. This book isn't out until the 18th of July, and the publisher contacted me and asked me if I would like to read this, and I literally had just finished Lowborn by Kerry Hudson when I was contacted about this. And I loved that book so much, and I thought it was so important and so passionately written and fantastic. It's one of my favourite books of this year, absolutely adored it. That when I heard about this, I was like, fucking hell, straight away, yes, please send it to me. So this is Cash Carraway's memoir. She's a single mother living in temporary accommodation. She's been moved around the system since she left home at 16, and she's been called a stain on society, and she's caught in a poverty trap. So yeah, this is about what it's like to live as a woman and as a mother below the poverty line in modern day Britain. And again, a few people mentioned to me when I talked about this book, a few people said, about Cash herself and what a character she is online and things like that. And when I had just found out who, because again I didn't know anything about this woman, I found out recently she just deleted her Instagram because of a sort of barrage of hate she'd been getting online. So I had a little look onto her online presence, and yeah, I just feel like this is going to be really, really interesting, and in a similar way to Lowborn, to me, just eye-opening, like even more eye-opening than Lowborn was for me. So yeah, so that's another book that I'm doing. So I've got 6 here, I've got to pick 4. What am I going to go for first? What am I going to go? Right, I feel like I definitely want to take Happy Fat, because I feel like it's a happy book, and I really like the front cover, and yeah, I just feel like, so I'm definitely going to take that. So that's a library book as well, so that needs to go back at some point. Then I'm going to take Everything I Know About Love as well. So I'm going to take Everything I Know About Love because, as I said, why haven't I read this yet? Like, that is something that I should have read, so I'm going to take that. I need 2 more. So I have got... I am going to take Orange Horses because I do like the thought of reading one of those short stories every night before I go to bed, and I feel like they're not super long short stories either, so I feel like that's probably a good way to unwind. Oh god, the introduction's quite long though. Yeah, so the first one's 12 pages, the next one, yeah, so I feel like, yeah, I am going to take that because I've given myself that idea in my head, and I feel like that's quite a good idea. So it's between Skint Estate, Gentleman Jack and Disobedience. I've got 2 non-fiction, a fiction, and short stories. Oh, oh god, do you know what? I might just take them all, which has completely defeated the point of this video. This is weird. I was talking to Simon on Voxer before I oh shit, I'm just going to take them all. I'm just going to take them all. I was talking to Simon on Voxer before I started filming this video and said I wanted to take 5 books on holiday. And also I'm going to visit Simon on the way up to holiday, and I know I always end up leaving his house with books because he's always getting rid of stuff, and I'm always like, oh yeah, I love that. So I thought I'll take 5 books, and then if I pick up a book or 2 from Simon's, that's 7. I think I'm just going to take the lot, guys. So yeah, so I'm going to take the lot. These are my books for my holiday. Let me know if you've read any of these. Let me know what type of thing you like to read on holiday, and I will see you all again soon for another booktube video. Hurrah, holiday!